is me, Wanda B, and you are tuned into a special. I'm excited. I know you guys are used to seeing me at 2 o'clock. I'm here at 12 because I'm here as a media chick and I have a media chick spotlight. Now, media chicks is a group where we tag along with other women who support women. And I have with me Jennifer Sanchez, who has created a platform just for that. I'm so excited to have you here, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm very excited also.
Okay, so I want to tell you guys, let me see if I can pull it up real quick, a little bit about Jennifer. I mean, you are an amazing woman. You are the founder and president of the Women Institute for Self-Development and, give me that word.
Efficacy. everyone, I hear efficiency.
I said efficacy. Let Jennifer say it.
Yeah, that's fine. Right.
So what a wonderful group. Start there for me. Tell me why. And
It's just something kind of that came from heaven in my mind. You know, it was something where it was like, I knew that I wanted women to know that efficacy is change, right? That stands for change and transformation. So I wanted the organization.
well, it looks like you found a fabulous team to help you do that with the
Yes.
Women's Leadership Conference. So we have with us Terry,
Yes, Terry Vanover.
and you're choosing to rise is the name of
That's the name of my company. So,
and Valerie.
Yes, Valerie Marac. The name of my company is Miraculous Productions.
Yeah.
Just a
I love
wonderful
that.
way to use your name.
Yeah.
And Dolly.
Dolly Cortez, owner of Rose Gold Publishing, and my mission is to help people write to heal from their traumatic experiences.
Oh, I love that. That is an empowering phrase right there.
Absolutely. Right to heal, baby.
Absolutely.
And so what's beautiful about this is Jennifer has put together, because there's more too, besides the three fabulous ladies we have here. Tell us who else is part of this Women's Leadership Conference.
We're going to have Jem B from Jam Station. So she's going to be our MC for the day, which I'm excited. 104.3. We're also going to have Elizabeth Colon, and she is a powerful businesswoman where she's going to be talking about how she went from it's a rags to riches type story, how she became a millionaire and, you know, the struggle for that. Also, we have else that I have and Jerry Ann. So we have another speaker, Jerry Ann. She's gonna come, and Dr. Makiba. Jerry Ann's gonna speak about, you know, just community, social media, how to create that presence online. And she has like a group of how many, maybe around 14,000 members.
It's
Wow.
tens of thousands
Yeah.
of the Military Mama Network.
Yeah,
she's pretty amazing.
She
She really knows
is.
how to build a Facebook community.
Yes, she is. And I think even Facebook acknowledges all her work, that they bring her out to Facebook, to the office, and they'll get her input. She also she was also like advertised through Facebook. They made
Yeah.
commercials over
I
the
was gonna see
military
that.
moms.
The military
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Now I'm connecting. I
Yep.
saw
Yeah,
that.
local
that's
celebrity
her.
for sure.
Yeah, so she was like, I'm so happy I'll do a local event now. I'm everywhere. I'm like, okay, great. You know, that's fine with me. And then, of course, Dr. Makiba, she's going to be talking about tragedy to triumph. Her story is just how she left. I know she's going to probably talk about how she left Florida, kind of didn't know anybody, came to Chicago, relocated, and all the jazz that happened in between. So we're really excited about this panel because we know that all the women are going to just bring something powerful to all the attendees that are going to be there.
That is just fabulous. And what's nice is I have some of you ladies here. So now I can hear firsthand from you guys what
Yes.
you plan to bring to this Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference. It's just a powerful name. As a woman,
Yes, it is.
And this is the first conference of the decade. And our slogan, what was it? Building how does it go? I'm going to find it on my beauty that I write for myself.
Build the next woman up. So
Build the next woman up.
Yeah, and that really came because when I've been doing this since 2018. And as I've been working with women, I've noticed that the moment that you start building, like you build yourself, you work on yourself, you develop yourself, and then you're at a point where it's like, now it's time for me to invest in another woman and build her up. And so forth. You know, it's a chain reaction. It's kind of contagious. Like once one woman's at that level where she feels maybe not 100% holistic, but at least she feels like she got it together, then she's gonna be like, I want to pour and pour into other women. And that's what's been happening in my organization as I've been helping women. They're now helping other women grow, which is what's really amazing to me.
I think what I love about that, because as Media Chicks was founded on that same principle of women helping each other, because like you said, as you grow, bringing the next one with you, and we all grow.
Yes.
When we grow, we all grow together. It's like that
Absolutely.
seed that's planted, and how we all will blossom from that seed. So Terry, tell us what you are going to bring to the Women's Leadership Empowerment Conference 2020.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm so excited to be on such a wonderful panel of women, and to be able to do this with Jennifer and her organization, which is really amazing, the mission that she's on. So I'm a divorce strategist, and so I empower women who've been impacted by divorcees and stepmoms, and I help them to learn how to let go of their resentment and anger and bitterness so that they can create healthy relationships with themselves, so that they can create healthy relationships with others. Because you got to, just like what we're saying, you got to start with yourself first. And that's what a lot of women don't understand. They want to blame. They want to say it's my ex, or it's my, ex's ex-wife, or whatever it is. They all want to blame. But the truth is we have to take responsibility for ourselves.
Yes.
And then when we start to rise up, we can start changing ourselves and change others.
I love that. He said, she said, who is also a proud media sponsor of this conference. That's kind of our same goal, is to help men through a divorce. So I just grabbed on to what you said, is when I started that work on myself. And you're right. The one thing we constantly hear is the blame. He did this, she did this. And we don't sometimes take the time to say, well, what did I bring to the table? What did I,
or where didn't I show up in the relationship,
up?
or where am I not showing up now that I can show up now? And the thing is, when we blame other people for our circumstances, you give up who you are and you become a victim. And we, it's like what Jennifer's mission is like, we're not here to be victims anymore. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, and take responsibility for where maybe perhaps we didn't speak up and where we didn't show up in our relationships. And I work with a lot of women, and they tend to be people pleasers. And that leads to a significant rate of divorce, because so many women stifle their own needs, their own values, their own wants. And guess what happens? You build resentment and resentment and resentment.
And the victim, you feel victimized.
You are victimized because, well, he got what he wanted to do, but I didn't. Well, if you're people pleasing, you're allowing people to do that, and you're allowing yourself not to have those healthy boundaries where you need to say no. No is a word of love. I really do believe that.
I believe that too. And I felt
I love that.
I love that too.
Just motivated me.
I used to think I was proud of sacrificing. I would almost wear it as a badge. Well, I did this, and I gave up this for this, and not realizing how I was harming the relationships, and then wanting to go into another relationship, and how do I heal that so I don't bring that with me to the next one?
Absolutely. So I do strategize with those women who are going through divorce, and we navigate that process more effectively. But I am very holistic in the fact, like, we have to heal what led you to this place in the first place. Like, why did you choose this partner? We dig into that, like, what led you to this partner, or again, why didn't you show up in this relationship, what led to that? And we heal those, and I heard Dolly say, like, you heal those complex traumas so that you don't repeat those patterns. Because here's the thing, once you have one divorce, the chance of you having another divorce is 67%. So you better figure out what it is that led you to that, so that you don't repeat those same mistakes. Oftentimes you just pick the same partner over, or you don't heal yourself, or you're blaming, oh, he was such a bad guy, and then but the common denominator, you're going to be in that relationship with whomever. And there's no perfect partner, right?
No, not at all.
But how can we be our best in our relationships? How can we bring our best every single day to our partner?
And this is something we can get at the conference?
Oh my gosh, we're going to get into like how to build a healthy relationship with yourself. How can you show up and take accountability for yourself? And I have some really great interactive exercises that I'm really super excited about, and where you might be sabotaging the relationship with yourself and sabotaging the relationship with others. And a big key component that I do with especially stepmoms in particular is like forgiveness. We work on forgiveness and forgiving. And listen, that can be a very that can be a trigger word for some people, right? And so I've had a lot of kind of blowback for that. But I look at forgiveness as a way to let go of the burden and the toxic emotions that perhaps someone else did give to you, but you don't have to carry those further.
Mhm.
You don't have to carry that along. That's what forgiveness is for me. It's not about, forgetting what that person did or
absolving
them. It's about, hey, I'm no longer going to carry around this toxicity that you gave to me. And it's really reflective. It's very, very deep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of inner work to do. And it's not just like, oh, I forgive you. And it's like, no, it is a lot of deep, deep inner work, but it is so worth it. And you can still have boundaries. It doesn't mean you're giving up the boundaries. It just means you consciously choose to let go of those negative emotions that are holding you back so you can bring in more happiness and more joy and more love.
I love that
I love
because
it.
we don't realize how that blocks us, that it's a blockage to move forward. And it's for you. Forgiveness is for you.
Absolutely for you. And the thing is, when you don't have forgiveness, here's the truth. Ladies, if you are holding grudges against your ex-husband, you're creating space between you and his children. It is true, so true, right? Because you can't truly be open. You can't really truly be accepting. It is this whole dynamic and just the power that comes from releasing that. Then you can be more open and receptive to your own children and to those around you, those that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I wanted to throw in there, we have a workbook, and all the panelists have shared with me some questions, some reflection questions, so that as someone that attends the conferences they're actually doing the work with the speaker. The speaker knows the questions, they're going to ask them, and they're going to be able to write down their thoughts as the speaker is, doing their thing on the stage.
I love that because if you think about where could you go and get all of this in one place? I mean, really just from 8:30 to 5, really putting into yourself. When do we really take that time and how important it is to this time? I love it. I just really love the concept because that's something you think, oh, I'm fine. I don't need to. But as I hear you, it awakens things that you think I haven't thought of. I need to work on that, and that I can get more than one thing worked on in one place. I'm like, okay, what do maybe I need to cancel some things.
Yes, Wanda, you gotta come, Wanda. Now I'm gonna be hounding you. Wanda, are you coming?
I love this concept. It really goes into, and for other people who listen to He Said, She Said every week, this is something we talk about on the show so much. And so this is perfect for the women and also my friends in the media chicks. This is something that's really needed. So Valerie, tell us, what are you going to be bringing to the Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference?
All right. Well, one of the things I want to say about the conference is I'm really excited to be on the stage following and preceding a number of women, because I think what we talk about is going to enhance the next woman and build on the previous
together.
women. I'm very, very excited.
And what is so nice about it is I like that it builds you.
Yes.
As you're building me, you're giving me your input, you're giving me how will a woman walk out of there? I feel empowered just listening to this, because I know once you hear these, once you get this, work on your workbook, how empowering you will feel leaving that day. I agree. The building, you feel it.
Love it.
Yeah. So I talk about conflict to possibility, 6 practices that I learned from Nobel Peace Prize winners and former gang leaders.
Wow, that's
I know
amazing,
that
right?
That's deep.
That is really deep. That's why when I saw that, I was like, whoa, I need to have her on stage.
Well, it does sound extreme, yet these former gang, the $60,000 word is former. They were gang leaders. They were violent ex-offenders, and they got to peace. And the Nobel Peace Prize winners, except for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which I got to interview, were all average, everyday citizens. At the time they took a stand for peace, they took a stand for the end of conflict in which they lived. A secretary, a waitress, an attorney, a teacher, and a homemaker. And they altered the course of the conflict they were living in and became Nobel Peace Prize winners. They were people like us.
Wow.
Totally people like us.
And that's a great message to think that
exactly.
we can make a difference in this world.
Exactly. So I will be talking about that and really empowering women to think of conflict not in terms of being bad, but in terms of actually creating possibilities. It can become a playground instead of a boxing ring.
I love that because that's another thing I think that is plaguing us right now is not having conflict resolution skills and how that's playing out in so many facets, especially where I think it will help women to take this home to their children because our children absolutely need this in this day and age where the not knowing how to get out of this situation or make peace. And what a fabulous group to learn from because these are people who have had to utilize these skills to elevate themselves from situations. I love it.
I asked people all over the world, literally hundreds of people, who was your peace role model? And people over and over and over again, and believe me, I definitely revere these people, they would say Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and Mahatma Gandhi. And I thought that was interesting. And I would then follow that up and I'd say, well, what is it about who they were that you have embodied and practiced every day? And it was like, because they're actually icons, right? They're icons, not actually role models. So I had the wonderful opportunity of being able to talk to His Holiness the Dalai Lama a second time. And I asked him who his peace role model was, expecting him to say my Buddhist teachers. No, he said my mother. And so when you say that, yes, absolutely. We as parents are the people that are most influential in actually creating the ability in our children to see conflict as an area of possibility and not in an absolute, like, I have to win. Or the many other ways that we handle conflict. Because I know I myself really worked at making myself small. The way we handle conflict comes as kids. The way we handle it as adults comes from when we were kids and we didn't have parity with the big people in our life, right? And then the other thing, of course, is the rescuer. You got to get in there and soothe it all over right away. And no matter which way, it's exhausting. Exhausting. Let's stop that.
I love that. I really do, because when you think about it, because it kind of ties in together. Even with divorce, there's conflict. There's that I see where the building is, where one thing in this conference will build to the next, and you walk out feeling empowered. I see how you've put this together, Jennifer. It really does work. That conflict. And I can't even imagine meeting the Dalai Lama. I mean, I think that's
that's pretty amazing.
I want to know more about that. But you're right. You mentioned these icons as to who you look to, but do you really know what they do? I mean, I can say that the Dalai Lama, but I don't have the tools that he uses. So I like that you're bringing that to us, the actual tools to use to resolve conflicts. Because I can throw out Martin Luther King Jr., but I really don't know what he did to resolve conflicts. So I like that. To walk away feeling empowered means you have the tools to bring this onto the next, to use this in your daily life. And that's what I think is so miraculous about this.
One of the things that's really important too is when we think about resolving conflict, we think about resolving or coming to grips with a thing. And for me, it's really not about the thing. It's not about the disagreement. It's about the relationship. What you look to do is transform the relationship. Those are what I learned in the practices that I talked with the Nobel Peace Prize winners and the former gang leaders about.
Because it makes sense, because that then helps with resentment. If you don't just resolve it, but you heal as you're then you don't bring the resentment to the next relationship. and you're able to maintain a relationship, some people say, well, I just walked away or I just left them alone. But you still miss that person, or is that the right way to actually handle that conflict?
Or you spend a lot of brain space figuring out how you're going to avoid them when you've got to go to work with them the next day.
Yeah, I love this, Valerie. It totally piggybacks on what I'm
does.
doing, because like a lot of the work that I do is reframing how you look at conflict. It's look at it as an invitation. What are the lessons learned? How can I show up differently? How can we change this relationship? Totally.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I can tell how it builds.
Yeah, it's part of when I chose the panel speakers, a lot of it had to go with what I teach regularly with the women in my women's organization. What do they always learn? Conflict resolution, boundaries, healing, happiness, right? We even have business topics. So that's why it was really specific for me and critical for me to make sure that the women were in line with the core values of WISE and what we teach to the women. We might get women that are divorced, women that are married, women that are single. Like, we get so many different women of different walks of life, of different ages. You would think that they're all the same, but they're not. So it just shows you how critical it is to learn boundaries, saying no, all these things. It's just critical. So that's why it's like sometimes you need to bring another speaker that can just tie the message and package the message nicely of what you've been teaching, right? But from another person, it's almost like I'm the mom and I'm always telling my kids the same thing. But then all of a sudden, you bring someone else and the kids get it because
they listen to them. They sit down.
Well, they're not going to listen to you, Jennifer. Your mom.
It's not that I'm mommying anybody, not at all. But that was the example. Like, you tell someone all the time, they might not get it. But when you bring someone like Terry, with her background, or someone like Valerie or Dolly, and then they emphasize it again, it's like, oh, I finally get it.
Well, it makes sense because we all also learn differently.
Absolutely.
And it may be, you have 4 different children, but you almost have to do what's best for them individually. Even though you're teaching the same principles and values, how that one child may even get it may be different than the next. And their relationship with you is different than the other child's relationship with you.
Absolutely.
And so all of this really does play a part in anyone's life, because it may not be divorce, but you've had a breakup.
Yep.
And you're still you at the end of the day. Like you mentioned, Terry, that it starts with you and healing yourself. You're going to bring that to whatever relationship, at work, whatever it is, you bring it to all your relationships.
I was going to say this kind of stuff like conflict resolution, healthy boundaries, that's impactful in your professional life as well. Yeah. I have one client who was when she first came to me, a huge people pleaser. I mean, she was a business owner, very successful. It was amazing to kind of hear, really, though, behind the scenes, how her employees were taking advantage of her. And through working with me, we were able to heal all the kind of like old traumas from her childhood and how she viewed herself, so that she could put up those boundaries with her employees. And guess what? Her business flourished because she stepped into her role as a leader and wasn't afraid to say no. Remember, no is love. Like those employees needed boundaries because they didn't know.
Boundaries and structure.
Yeah.
And structure, because if you let them take advantage of you, there's no structure.
Exactly.
I love this, and I love being partnered with this as a media sponsor, because it truly is in line with what all the things I put together, where the Media Chicks, where we come together with women in media to help each other grow, learn, and be better people, especially in business, in all our relationships, and how you can walk away feeling so empowered, taking these tools and skills. And now I'm looking at the cost of it, and I'm like, wow, Jennifer, for only, the amount that you'd actually have to pay for a private session with someone to get all these ladies in one place.
Yep, exactly.
It's a giveaway.
Yeah,
it truly is. The investment in yourself is.
But you know what, though, Wanda? A lot of people, and especially women, we have a tendency of putting ourselves last.
Always.
So when it comes to investing in ourselves, unless you are intentionally looking to change your life, to improve your situation, to be a better version of you, you won't do it.
You won't do it.
So us women, we have to be intentional about that. And I think that with what Jennifer has put together. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, she has brought experts to work with her all day to have the audience take advantage for a measly price. It's really nothing. Yeah, I mean, I hear it. Trust me. I do events and people are like, "Oh my God, but I could buy groceries for 2 weeks with the amount of money you charge." Well, that's fantastic. But those 2 weeks are gonna run out. When you run out, you run out. What we can teach you in one of the events can last a lifetime.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Now I'm gonna, you know this, Dolly, right? Because
Yes.
you work with people who are healing from trauma.
Absolutely.
I keep saying over and over, this is not just about us as mothers. This is generational. This
Absolutely.
you want to spend this
Absolutely.
minor investment in you. Yeah, women need to give themselves permission, not yourself to heal, but for your children. Because guess what? If you're a child of divorce, guess what the likelihood of you getting divorced? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like we just keep passing this trauma along.
Absolutely.
Like, and the thing is, as women, once we heal this trauma, it's like this energetic break, and it breaks that pattern, and our children grow from it, and then their children grow from it. I mean, you can literally be changing the face of the earth by
Absolutely.
healing something within yourself.
Absolutely.
I
Yes,
love
that's
that.
good.
When we think what we could leave our children, a lot of times we think only in a financial way, but
Mhm.
leaving them that legacy of having better relationships will go on and on and on.
Yes.
We don't realize how we carry on the trauma. So, Dolly, you mentioned the trauma, but tell us what you're going to bring
Oh,
to this.
I'm going to have fun with mine. I am how to manifest happiness, the happiness that you deserve.
Yes.
So I am a strong believer of the law of attraction. And I have used the law of attraction to change my life. I have literally changed everything about me since 2014. I changed my image. I changed my home. I changed my husband. I changed my career. I mean, I tell you, I've had a blast. I am happier than I've ever been. I really absolutely feel that I took control of my life. I got lost in a 21-year relationship. Well, 25 years if you include the dating with that man.
Yeah.
I got lost in that, and I was a very unhappy wife. I was a very unhappy person. And then I said, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I was an enabler. And in fact, I also wrote a book, and it's called Accept Responsibility and Be Happy, because I just said, you know what? I got to do this for me. And once I did that, it was just like everything just started coming. So now I'm fearless. Now there's nothing I can't do. Now, whenever I say I'm going to do something, I'm like, watch out, world. Dolly's coming. I got a passport, and I'm like, watch out, world. Here comes that window. Here comes Dolly traveling all over the world, because that's my intention. I want to be able just to speak and impact the masses one soul at a time, and just actually teach everyone there's nothing that you cannot achieve if you absolutely want it.
I am so excited. I swear you guys got me like, hurry up Tuesday.
Yeah.
Girl, change that schedule.
I can vouch for Dolly. I've watched her for the last couple of years, and
Yeah.
I've seen all the changes. So that's why I was like, her story is powerful, and I knew that people need to hear that story.
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. So I'm going to, you're tuned into the Media Chick Spotlight, where I am highlighting some really fabulous women here. We are women really working to empower other women. And thank you so much for tuning in. And so tell us, because I want to really get this out there, because I really want you to get your tickets. How can they get tickets to this fabulous event?
Yeah, so we are selling tickets on Eventbrite. Definitely go online. I'll give you the address. You could go to http://bit.ly/Wise Women's Conference. And then if you go to Eventbrite and just look up Wise or Women's Conference, it'll probably pop up.
And I'm going to have this link. If you're tuning in on Facebook, I'll have that link in my comments. Soon as we're done here, you'll have that link to get your tickets. I love for you. This is something that if you tune into He Said, She Said with Wanda B, this is something we talk about so often. It's healing yourself so you can communicate better with each other in your relationships. But relationships doesn't necessarily always mean man and woman relationship. We're saying in business, with your children, with everyone you encounter in a day. When you heal yourself, you bring happy. You feel happy. You bring happiness.
You know what? It's not only the happiness, but it's the peace. I mean, God, I remember the first time I moved out on my own, and I had my own with my two children. I I moved out, and that night I slept. I slept like 10 hours, and I was just so grateful and thankful. And forgiveness was one of a big key, one of the tools that I use. And being grateful every morning, I am just so grateful. I'm grateful that I'm able to wake up. I'm grateful that I have a cute little dog, sitting on my lap. I am grateful that my new husband is amazing and sexy and adorable. I am just grateful for everything and anything that has come to my life. I'm grateful for all of my clients. I am grateful that I have people that are willing to even listen to what I have to say. I just use gratefulness as a big part of who I am
Yes.
and transforming my life. And I can honestly promise you that has been the biggest and the most challenging yet exciting and exhilarating adventure of my life.
I am grateful for all you ladies because I know this is so needed. It is so
Yes.
needed.
Mhm.
I know as a mom, I will say to myself, well, I can't afford to invest in myself, but I know I want better relationships. I know I
Absolutely.
need this. And so I feel that energy. I am so grateful for you, Jennifer, for putting
Thank you.
something together like this for women to take that time out for yourself. And I know, and you're worthy of it. I
Mhm.
think sometimes we don't even feel worthy of taking that time. And I love how it truly builds into a better woman.
Yes.
Each one, what each of you are bringing to the table will empower you. And that
Yes.
empowerment we bring to our children, we bring to our lives. And I love that concept. I really do.
Yes, thank you. I think it's a perfect time now because it's a new decade, right? It's 2020, it's a new year, it's January. And sometimes I tell women, how much does it hurt staying the same,
Mm.
right? Like, if you think about what's it cost you to stay the same? And I'm sure it might cost you your peace of mind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
your health,
Mhm.
your sanity, right? All these things.
Your relationship with your
Your
children.
relationship
I
with your
mean,
children,
yeah.
absolutely. So if it's costing you that much, an investment for one full day of things that you're actually going to put into work, you're actually going to write and think and work on yourself, no distractions. And of course, the community that's going to come out, the women that are come out, the connections. It's
The connections to help you on this journey because
yes.
life is a journey that we're consistently on. We'll be faced with
Yes.
this to walk away with a support team now.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. All these women here, I'm sure they're available. They want to network with women. The women that are going to be attending. I specifically put a call out there that women that want to build other women need to be
Mhm.
there. If you're all about empowerment, collaboration, not competition, right? And I
Mhm.
think I've been really good about that in my organization. Making sure that women are not snarky or trying to cutthroat,
Mhm.
competitive.
Well,
That's not
Jennifer, like I said, you need to not compete with one another.
complete.
It's
Yes.
complete, not compete. And I think that you've done a wonderful job with that.
Thank you. Yes, I try to make sure that it's all about empowering one another. If and right away, a woman that will go that is not genuine, she'll
She'll
feel it. She'll feel it. She'll feel the vibe, and it is what it is. But
but she'll walk out different.
she'll walk
I
out
feel
different.
that even if those are the ones who need to be there
They do.
because if you feel like go
Go, yes,
go
yes, because
go
they'll buy a purse, a two, $300, $400 purse.
hair get their
Hair,
hair
yeah,
washed, take an hour, change the color of their hair,
yeah.
Mhm.
but it doesn't change
It
you.
doesn't just yep,
Excuses.
yes.
It's excuses. How many times do we say, "Oh, I don't know if I can come to this meeting because this is happening," or "I don't know if I can go ahead and support this lady, Jennifer, Terry. Now I can't go," and it's all because of excuses. Oh, my husband doesn't want me to spend that money. Girl, come on. You deserve it. You deserve it.
And he'll be happy in the end. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
because
Absolutely, absolutely.
maybe he doesn't know what's good for him. When she comes
Yeah.
home empowered, he will be empowered. We are the
Totally.
base and unit of
Yes,
so many things.
yes.
So when we're
Mhm.
empowered, everyone around us
What is
is
that?
impacted.
Happy life, happy
Happy
wife,
wife,
happy
happy
life,
life.
right? Like, if you're happy, everyone in the house is gonna
Yes.
be
Yes.
happy.
And this is truly worth the investment in yourself. It really is. It's worth taking this time to walk away, to find a way to feel that gratefulness, to be a better you. And when we want to build other women, you really have to build yourself. And
Absolutely.
I think we may not recognize it. There may be tons of excuses, but we're saying start here, start now.
Yeah.
What a great way to start. Begin the decade building yourself, and it will flourish the rest of your year,
Absolutely.
the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
So please get the tickets. Thank you for all the people who are chiming in on Facebook. We appreciate you guys. Madeline, she says, yes, healing, peace, grateful, forgiveness, women coming together. You love it. I love it too. And what I really like is that everyone is bringing something different to the table, but it all is so connected.
Yep.
I feel the connection. As one mentions what they do, what you bring, you can feel how that will help with the next one, and how you are building pieces together to create a better you. So tell us a little bit more. We have these fabulous ladies. Thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Terry, what they bring. Again, you mentioned a few others, though, that you have coming to this event, to the Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference 2020. Tell me a few about the few others again.
Yeah, so we're going to have Dr. Makiba. She's going to be talking about how she went from tragedy to triumph. You know, it's a success story in her life. We're going to have Elizabeth Colon, who is a powerful businesswoman. She's going to be talking about how she went from rags to millionaire. And then we're also going to have Jerry Ann, which she's like a powerful social media guru, where she has thousands of followers in her Military Mama Facebook group. So, I mean, she is on fire, that woman. So those are the three. Of course, myself, I will also be rising up and investing in the other woman. Really, I want to definitely just bring to the table the whole idea of how we as women need to really stop competing with one another and really just start pouring into other women. It's just, and I'm going to share how I did that through the women's organization that I have, of how I build other women and what's that done, and why there's a lot of women out there that are scared. There's a lot of women out there that know their potential and they're limiting themselves, right? Because of limiting beliefs, because of financial issues or whatever. But they know that they're called to do this amazing thing with other women. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. Then, of course, we're going to be having Jen BT from Jams, and she's going to talk about how just in media, right, media chicks, it's not an easy mom and a wife in media. She's going to be the MC, but she's going to share how even in the as a media person, she wakes up early in the morning. She told me she got to be at the station at 5 a.m. She's done by 9, and how like just she doesn't have that support as being a mom, you know, as much as she would want it to be. There's not that other media women like supporting one another, which probably I need to connect her to you, because
Please,
you're a media chick. You know?
And media for me is even more than just the radio, TV. It's that we all use it in some fashion in business and life, whether you need to understand social media to understand what your children are doing on it. I mean, this is multifaceted of how it all plays in and ties together. And that is definitely, this was the year I felt of collaboration, but getting rid of that fear, the conflict within yourself of how do you get to that point? Because if you don't want to collaborate or work on yourself, there's something there that needs to be healed.
Yes.
And I think if you walked away going to this conference, you may be able to touch on what that is.
Yes.
I think something else you'll take away from this conference, I've already taken away just with talking with Valerie a few minutes before we came on air today, was just knowing you're not alone. We are not alone as women. Like hearing Dolly's story of divorce, girl, we're like sisterhood, right?
I'm throwing me in that sisterhood.
Yeah, there's sisterhood. But like, you know, I mean, I mean, we all do. And just to know that you are not alone, but you can rise above it. You know, I went from the darkest days of my divorce, being homeless, losing my financial credit. I lost my mom. I was hit by a van. It was like everything that could go wrong during a divorce, I did it. Like it happened to me. It was the lowest time in my life. But you, and just like Dolly, like you can rise above it if you choose. If you choose a positive path, or if you choose to heal yourself, you can rise above it.
It's your will.
Yes.
It's your will. Do you want to? look, I mean, damn girl, I was not hit by a van.
I know. I was like,
So congratulations that you're still standing.
Yeah,
you know,
you just lose. Sometimes you lose so much. You feel
You
like the
do.
world is against you.
I lost a lot of relationships
Yep. Yep.
during the divorce.
Mhm.
I lost so many relationships, and it was so painful to see so many people side
Yep.
with
Yeah.
one or the other, and I thought that was really just sad and unnecessary. I'm at a point I'm like, you know what, whatever. But it was just unnecessary, and the sense of rejection.
Mhm.
I was actually diagnosed with PTSD
Mhm.
because of the divorce, because of everything that happened within that divorce. I got treatment and I got help because I desperately needed it. And but it just came to a point where I'm like, you know what, enough is enough. And when you as a woman or as a person, not even as a woman, but just as a person, feel like you don't deserve or you're not worthy,
Yeah.
or that if your life even worth
Or
anything,
did you fail? You feel like a
oh
failure because
God,
of
yeah. But
divorce.
no, you know
Yeah.
what, I changed all of that around. For me, there's no such thing as failures. I call them lessons.
Yep.
I call them lessons. And I just really truly believe that if we really want to live the best version of ourselves, if we want to be the happiest that we can be, there's nothing that we can do. And I promise you, I am probably the most fearless person in this room, although these women are amazing. But I am probably one of the most fearless women in this room, just because I'm like, bring it, baby, bring
Yeah.
it. Well,
Yep.
you got to challenge. Nothing
Yeah.
I can't do, nothing I'm not willing to take on, just because what I've faced, it's just nothing else.
I'm with you,
It's
Dolly. Like
right.
once you lose everything,
It's like
you survive it.
Yeah.
You can do anything. And I bet there's
Anything.
women out there that feel all alone. Maybe they're struggling in their business, they're struggling in their relationships, they're struggling. And so this conference will help you to understand that other women have been there, they've come through it, and they can help you get through this. And that sisterhood of women is really going to be impactful too.
I like that. That is really what the Media Chicks was founded on. He said, she said, to help relationships build, to be a media sponsor of this
Love it.
is
Thank you.
because I definitely, it's everything that I stand for in my own process of healing.
Yeah.
Trying to find the practitioners who would help. And I think having an arsenal of women around you who, what I like too is they've been they've been where you are, and they're at where you want to be, and how they got there, but also teaching me the lesson of how I can get there too is empowering. And that's really what you're trying to build for us and putting it together, because I may not know how to carry on my own. So I like that you have put together a plethora of women who have the knowledge that I need, and I didn't know where to start. If you don't know where to start, this is the perfect way to start.
Yes.
In the perfect way, like you said, to start the new year. So tell us again how they can get the tickets, because I know there are women now who are saying, I gotta be there.
Oh,
So-
nice. Yes, we want you to be here. And I think, I'll tell you the edge, but I want to add the sisterhood part is so
sisterhood.
critical. And I share this a lot. If you know me, you've heard this before. We went depressed. I was reading an article how before, long time ago, how we used to wash our clothes. We used to go wash our clothes in rivers, right? We had a community, we'd gather together, and then women would chat, while they're doing their laundry. But then when the washing machine was made, now you're washing clothes at home. And a lot of women got depressed because they lost that connection to other women. So this is even awesome because you get to develop sisterhood, real sisterhood of support, of people that want to see you succeed in life. Not just come to the conference, no, really connect and get support where you need it. But they could definitely find us. They could go to Eventbrite. They could on Eventbrite just put Women's Conference, Wise Women's Conference, and then find the tickets there. Or actually, they can, if I could plug my Facebook page,
Please.
Women's Self-Development. They can go there and find the link and the event and just click there and purchase the ticket. And we still have VIP tickets. So if women actually want to sit with the speakers on a private lunch, so I've created a private lunch just for speakers and VIP and sponsors. So if you want to pick their brains and really sit down with them and enjoy a meal, there's still VIP tickets for that, or general admission. You could just come and still get your workbook, get your stuff. There's still plenty of networking opportunity, but I really wanted an opportunity for women to network privately with the speakers and really sit down and enjoy a meal at the hotel, at the Radisson Blue in downtown. Really just go all out and enjoy a meal with them and really pick their brains.
The sisterhood is so important because a lot of times you feel like you're alone. And what I love about this is we come from all different backgrounds, but we share so many of the same experiences as women.
Yes.
It has no race, color, creed. We all experience these same things. And that is why the sisterhood is so important and impactful, to have someone that you can talk to, share with, and then walk away with this workbook that helps me continue the work.
Yes.
Continue what I learned at this conference, and then have a network to rely on if I need further. If I want to ask some more questions, I have people I can go to. And that is so important. The feeling of not being alone, because you really do feel like your experience is an isolated experience. But I share everything. You guys can see the commonalities as a person who divorced after 20 years, and the relationships when my children had to go away, being that, even that situation when they choose to be with, they were my family too, but now they're off doing things on their own without me. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then
I want to go.
or even the experiences I haven't yet experienced, because I'm not a stepmom yet, but I have to be prepared with the knowledge that when this happens, I'm healed already. I don't have to wait to be healed or wait to experience this and not know what's best. So I like that too, that I can be empowered going into it in a situation.
Right.
If I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the things that I've also been hearing, and I really love, is there is one of the reasons that we don't have boundaries is that we don't feel worthy. And then, and that also makes us more closed. We don't have boundaries, but we're closed up because we're like this, right?
Yeah.
And people are constantly barraging us like this. Nobody can see that. You're trying to protect yourself at the same time.
You're guarding your heart, guarding your being, you're guarding yourself.
Exactly. And when you are empowered, and I love that word empowered, you not only can set boundaries, but you can also say, bring it on. And say, I am open. I am open to this. And you really open yourself up and allow yourself to be vulnerable in a good way.
Yes.
So it sounds like a unright dichotomy.
Right.
And yet it just works that way. It's not a paradox. It's actually what happens when you step into who you are.
Yeah, Valerie's right on about you. Amen, sister. Because that is my story, in the fact that, like, I didn't feel worthy, but I had the wall. I have healthy boundaries, but to the point where, like, closed off. And so learning to be vulnerable and to trust others, but it's like you said, it's empowering you. And yes, it seems like a dichotomy, but it's true. And let me tell you, being open and vulnerable, it makes those relationships so much better than having a guarded heart.
It really ties into even what you said, Jennifer, because if you're feeling competition, or that's the guarded part of it.
That insecurity.
The insecurity. And how this all really, I love what you put together, because it all helps so much. One situation from the next, one person to the next, how it builds.
Yes.
I can feel that. It definitely is a powerful thing. And you want to walk away being, I think how you mentioned vulnerability, being powerful, being vulnerable. Usually feel weak and feel like, oh, if I'm vulnerable, I'm weak. And I can't wait for this. I can't wait. I love it.
Yes, it's going to be, I know all these women are going to bring it. They're going to bring something special to the conference, something unique, and they all had their own walks of life, their own experiences, and they can teach lessons that even just hearing their testimony or hearing what they've gone through is going to be empowering for someone else. And I have to make sure I say we're gonna have like a photo booth there.
Tell us everything about that
gonna be
as we
fun.
wind down. Please share everything they will get, because not only do you get these fabulous ladies, there's more.
Yeah, we're gonna have a DJ. Her name's Andrea Jones. I'm
You're
super
using
excited.
women.
Yeah. Guys have plenty for themselves. I don't, I'm a big believer. Like, let's support women. Like, the guys can handle it on their own. We need to support each other. So I have a female DJ. She's like, and she's big on entrepreneurship. She has a YouTube channel and she puts stuff out there on entrepreneurship as well, which I was like, oh, you're perfect. Like, you definitely need to come on board. So she's gonna come on board, be the DJ. We have a photo booth also, and it's gonna be fun where you could do your selfie photo. I forgot what they're called, the selfie photo booth things at parties. And we're just gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be exciting. It's not just let me go there and just I'm not. Today I'm a little under the weather, but I'm a very high energy person overall.
We
So,
feel that.
for me, it's like I want to bring it. I want to give you a life-changing experience by coming to this conference. And not only that, but it's like at the Radisson Blu in downtown. Like, we're gonna wine and dine you. It's almost
downtown.
I
like that.
It's gonna be just the best for the women that attend. We want the best speakers, the best location, the best DJs, so
That's awesome.
that's what I'm all about, and I want women that are ready, like, I'm tired of this. I want to change. I'm tired. I need change. You need to be at the conference if that's what you're thinking. Like, I tell them, don't even think about the money. The money will come.
Mhm.
The money will always manifest itself. You just say, I'm going, and they'll come. And
they'll
always
teach you.
Make it happen.
If you don't believe it, go, because you'll walk away feeling that way.
Well,
Yeah.
and you'll learn tips and tools and strategies to increase your business.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I think that's where we see women who are just so hesitant to invest in themselves and invest in their business. It's like, but when you invest in yourself, it pays off.
But you know
Yes,
why,
it
Terry?
does.
Is because a lot of people have a tendency of focusing on the lack. This is what I'm lacking. This is what I don't have. Oh, poor me. I have bills. Well, just join the club. Everyone has a bill. The electric bill is going to come every month, whether you like it or not. You have bills. So do I. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, and that's part of what I do. It's you have to, for the audience, your listeners, your viewers, you have to understand, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right.
If nothing changes, nothing changes. It's up to you. You're the only person who can change your life. You're
Absolutely.
the only person who can finally take control. When I work with my clients, and some of the experiences that I work with, I mean, I've talked to people that have been raped more than once. I have talked to people who have experienced domestic violence. I have talked to many that have, just experienced death around divorce, separation, number of traumatic experiences. And I promise you that every single one of them, when we're done and when we're doing the writing and when we're doing the sessions, and all of a sudden they have a book, I call it the trophy. The book is just a trophy. It's a journey that matters.
Right.
It's
Right.
really the healing journey that matters.
Yeah.
When you have that trophy in front of you, that's your baby. You created that. And now you're a new woman. You or a man, in my case, because I do both, but you're a new person as a whole. But people need to start changing their mentality, and they have to not only, appreciate what they have, but they have to want a change.
Yeah.
For things to take place.
Like you said, you're doing the same thing and expecting different results. You have to change it up. And I love that this is a place where you can learn how to change it up, how to do the work, get the tools to change it. Because sometimes we just don't know how to start.
Yeah.
We don't have a clue how to start. We know we want to change. We know something doesn't feel right,
Yeah.
but we don't know where to start. And I
Yeah.
love that you've created the
Yes.
place to start for us.
For me, when I started the organization, it was basically 10 years of my life kind of jam packed into this organization. Everything that I teach, everything that I bring to the table, it is because of me investing in myself, me investing in coaches, because me investing in programs where I am where I'm at today. And I tell everybody I was a hot-headed young Latina. I had a hot-headed young husband, right? We were both hot-headed, and you put fire and gasoline together, it just does not work out right. But fortunately, I was the catalyst for changes in my home. It might not be the same result for all women, but for us, we needed that level of someone needed to mentor us and pour into us, and specifically me. That as a result, my whole dynamic in the household, my family changed. Where my husband starts preaching to me now, and I'm like, where'd you learn that
Where did you
from?
learn that?
Like, he'll say something that I told him 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and I'm like, you were listening,
But you're also living it. I think when you see
Yes.
someone living the words, it really does trickle down, and we will invest in our children.
Yeah.
But think this is also an investment in your children. Just think of it differently. This is the same investment that you have no problem shelling out the money for your children. We really
for their
don't as women.
little league expenses or their hockey.
Basketball,
Like,
hockey,
isn't it
football,
isn't it more
dance.
valuable and more impactful that you invest in their parents' marriage? That always shocks me when people are like looking for the cheapest therapist or the cheapest. I'm like, oh, I would pay to save my marriage. I'm not sure how much I wouldn't pay if it meant that giving my children a secure, happy home. That's priceless. I think we need to flip the script on what our children really need. They don't need stuff. They need emotional stability. And another thing, to just to piggyback on what y'all are saying about like investing in ourselves as women, like think holistically. I've seen women, and I bet Dolly's seen this, like their anxiety goes away. So they're not taking medications. The long-term effects of like healing yourself emotionally, because those emotional issues, they manifest physically. And so you're saving on doctor bills and like therapist bills, and you're saving on like all these long-term things that you're not thinking, but that are more important. Your health is priceless.
Absolutely. And clarity.
Clarity.
It brings clarity to people's homes. And with many of the people that I work with, oftentimes they realize, you know what, you're right. And it's not that I'm telling them. It's they're realizing.
They're discovering
I
it.
don't need this person in my life. This person is incredibly toxic. What am I doing by staying with this person? And this is what their realization is. Or what am I doing not fighting for this relationship? So it's not about breaking people up, not at all. It's about defining what's important to you and how bad do you want it.
And I love it because it all so much. I just hear how it all ties together, because empowering yourself, you mentioned how it empowered your relationship. Just from you empowering yourself, it trickled down to your relationship. And that's why it's so needed to take this time for yourself. Women, please, I really want to put it out to you to make it a point to get to this Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference. It will heal so many things in your life. And you can find yourself in all these different situations. We may not have targeted, but there's someone here that some way you can connect, whether it's business, whether you're the single woman looking for a healthy relationship. How do you bring your best self to the table? I just love it. I really do love it. So Dolly, let's start with you, how they can reach you, and we know what you're bringing to your happiness.
I'm a happy.
Bring it on. Tell us more about you.
You know what? The easiest way to reach me is if you're on Facebook, Dolly Cortez, Cortes, so DOLLY Dolly Cortez, or you could always go on my website. It's rosegoldpublishingllc.com, and you can definitely reach out to me that way.
Miraculous Valerie. Tell us.
You can find me on my website, miraculous.com. Now, it's spelled like my last name. That's M as in Mary, R as in Robert, AKULOUS. And you can also find me at Facebook at Valerie Mirac.
Terry?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook. I have a business page, Choosing to Rise. That's the name of my business. You can go to choosingtorise.com. That's my website, or just find me on Facebook, Terry Vanover, and choosing to rise. You can remember that, right? I've got that Southern accent, so everyone remembers
I was
that
hearing
name.
that.
And that wasn't
Choosing to
intentional at all,
rise.
but it's kind of worked for me marketing-wise.
I love it.
I love her accent,
Me
and I love
too.
she always wears leather jackets, and I love that about her. I was like, oh, she's so cool.
and as a media chick, I think teaching like those little things make people remember you. It can become
Yes.
what the lady, if they don't remember your name, the lady who wears the leather jacket.
Yeah,
It's branding.
It's a branding.
It is
It's
brand. I know,
another
and I
way to brand
resisted that at
yourself.
first. I was like, "Oh my," because I'm in Chicago, but I'm the Southerner, and everyone's like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Ugh," so embarrassed. But then I owned it. I'm like, "Well, I just own it, so I can't change it. Just embrace it, love it, and just accept it. I love it now."
Walk away from this conference owning everything about yourself, your life, and feeling empowered, learning. So I love it. I really do. So Jennifer, I'm going to have you tie it all together for us about the Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you to all the ladies that are here supporting the event, and every sponsor. Thank you for sponsoring, and all the sponsors and the volunteers. And we definitely want you to come out. Take advantage of this event. It will definitely change your life. It's going to be powerful. The connections, the mindset, the networking. And we definitely just go to Facebook, Women Self-Development. You can find the event there, or you can find me, Jennifer Sanchez, and all the information, flyer will be there. You can also go to my website, womenselfdevelopment.org, but definitely go. You can find me better on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook.
So I want to put this out there to the people, especially my Facebook friends who tune in to He Said, She Said, also all the platforms, IntellectualRadio.com, who tune in through Spreaker, YouTube, however you view He Said, She Said with Wanda B or the Media Chick Spotlight. I really want to impress, because this is definitely a part of what we do on He Said, She Said. Now, I have the male, James Borshade, who is our life coach for our show, but I would love for you to tie into these women, because it's we deal with this and talk about this on a weekly basis, but I always talk about the tools you need to have a better relationship, but having that start with you. And I love, and I felt in my heart last year, the word collaboration kept ending the year with me. And I said, you know what? I was one of those that was fearful of the collaborate, guarded in some ways, and feeling vulnerable, felt weak. And I love this, because this is a place where all the things that I struggle with, I can walk away with the tools, a workbook, the guidance from women who've walked this path and who I could follow in their footsteps as I work on my journey to wholeness, my place to heal. And so I'm always asking you guys to work on yourself and find ways to work on yourself. Find the person that works for you, because someone may not, and you may have tried it before and it didn't work before. That doesn't mean you stop. And I love that this is a group of women who I wish you were here in the studio with me, because you feel the energy of women, the empowerment you can get from this. So you can have it too. And how you can have that is by going to the Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference. It's January 14th. I don't think I've said that enough. It's January the 14th, 8:30 to 5. It's at the beautiful Radisson. Where is it? Radisson Blue
in downtown. Yes.
And when will you take this time for yourself? And it's not just for you, though, because I want you to reach it out further, that if you don't think you're worthy, that do it for your children, do it for your relationship, do it for your family, do it for your coworkers. If you can't find him to think it's worth it for you, you will when you walk out. Because I know I feel like, bring it on. Thank you, Dolly.
Let me tell you something. When people tell me, well, I've tried this, I'm like, you haven't tried this. Yeah, I'll bring that. You haven't tried this. And then I'll also bring it, because I'm very confrontational when I have to be. So I will say, you know what? So you've tried all of that. How's it working for you? Right. How's it working for you? And we're like, well, nothing has changed. Okay. So do you want to change or not? It's all about one decision. It's simple. All of us, make it too complicated. You don't need to. Love yourself. It's not that hard. Trust me. I think I'm adorable. And it
may be hard for some. I think some don't realize they don't really love themselves, but this is why you need to be here. You may not realize how you not loving yourself plays out in your day.
Mhm.
And so if you do struggle with that, this is the place. If you don't, this is the place you need to be. If this really is at empowerment, and I really want that for women. I really absolutely want you to have healthier relationships, learn to communicate better with the people in your lives. And this is definitely the place to be. We will definitely have all the links on how you can be there, how you can get the tickets, how you can be there this Tuesday. I really implore the women to do this because I want you to be the better you. I want you may not have it now, but how do you get the tools so you do have it, that you can heal the conflict between your children? Sometimes you mentioned being the leader of your family, to be the Martin Luther King for you, to be that you want to be the role model. You're your children's first role model. And to be the healthiest person that you can be is so important. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all who come to me every single week. I really do. And I want you to keep listening to IntellectualRadio.com. We have a day full of He Said, She Said with Wanda B. will also be bringing more of this, and we'll also be promoting this because I really want this for you. I'm today at 2. We have Overcoming Obstacles with Jada James. You check her out. We have Another Perspective coming today, Voices of Change. I really want you to stay tuned to IntellectualRadio.com, and I want you to come back to me at 2 p.m. I'll be here bringing more and really touting these women because I want you to go here. I want this for you. You want it for yourself. And I'm excited about this. I'm going to be promoting how to get those tickets so you can be in the building on Tuesday. But I'll still be here on IntellectualRadio.com. I hope to see you the same place, same time, here on IntellectualRadio.com.